It's Friday, January 30th, 2015, and let's talk about what happened this week over at xdadevelopers.com. First up, a new CM device came out recently, and as of this week, official images for it are now available. The YU Yureka is one of only a few devices that ship with CM pre-installed, and now, in case you need it, factory images for CyanogenMod 11 are available for it on the Cyanogen site. But speaking of CyanogenMod, an interesting post popped up over on Google Plus this week from Robert Weiss. It was just a photo of his wife's new OnePlus One, but it didn't have the CM logo on the back of it. At least one other user in the thread mentioned a lack of the logo on their device as well that they've just purchased a couple of weeks ago. The short post on the portal seems to imply that the device came without running CM11S, but the Google Plus post actually confirms it is running CyanogenMod, but it does lead you to wonder if maybe this is some sort of a precursor to a complete split between OnePlus and CM. I can't say I'd really be surprised, though I do kind of enjoy running CM on my OnePlus One. Moving right along though, the Galaxy Note 3 received some official OTA lollipop love from Samsung this week, or at least the SM-N900 in Russia did. The download link points over to Sam Mobile, and people are confirming that this is an official version. It's no longer a leak or a beta or a pre-release build, so if you've got the Note 3, specifically the N900 version, take a look at that. It might only work for users in Russia, but it's possible that it could be made to work in other places as well. Speaking of the Note devices though, as of this week there are now official CM12 Nightlies for the Note 4. This comes running their new theme engine, and any new stuff that might arrive over the next few weeks or month should show up immediately, or nightly at least, so that's a lot of fun. In other news though, following up on the Lollipop update that came to the HTC One M8 Developer Edition recently, HTC's gone ahead and put out the kernel source for that build, so if you've been dying to start doing some more custom work on the M8, now you can dive right in. And speaking of more development options, if you've been avoiding developing on a Chromebook because of the extra work you've got to do to get those development tools on there, you may not have to do that much longer. An old bug report was renamed to install ADB and fastboot on Chrome OS images, so with that you'd be able to run ADB and fastboot commands straight from the Chrome shell, no additional installation required. It's not absolutely everything you'll ever need to develop Android apps on Chrome OS, but it is definitely a step in the right direction. And at the very least, it provides an easier option for some people that might want a relatively inexpensive machine to develop on. Moving right along, apparently several Xiaomi devices come with relatively small system partitions. XDA junior member REF92629 decided he didn't really like that, so he put together a guide for how to increase the size of the system partition on at least the MI3 and the MI4. Keep in mind, if you decide to do this, it's going to wipe out your system partitions entirely, so you'll lose any ROMs that you have on the device. So do make sure you make the appropriate backups beforehand, and make sure you have a ROM standing by to flash to it, or a backup that you can restore from. As always, do make sure to read through the forum thread just so you make sure you know everything that's going on. Next up, an interesting app popped up on the portal this week. XDA senior member Nihil0 made an app called Ampere that can be used to measure the charging and discharging of your device's battery. The catch with this is you have to be running Lollipop. From what I've read in the thread though, there are already other apps out there that do this, so while they don't have the pretty material design that Ampere has, they can do the same sort of stuff, and you don't have to have Lollipop to use it. But still, if you're in the market for an app like this and you are on Lollipop, might be worth giving it a look. Then we had a few articles pop up on the portal that I wanted to mention. First up, Mario wrote about some reports that Microsoft is supposedly investing in Cyanogen Inc., something like $70 million. There's a lot of good info in the article there, but I am curious about one thing. Would this mean that CM could come pre-installed on Nokia phones? Because that's something I could actually get behind. Now, according to another article from Mario, Samsung is supposedly going to be reducing the amount of bloat that comes pre-installed with TouchWiz moving forward as well. There's also some speculation in that article about the possibility of Samsung dropping the Snapdragon S10 in their upcoming devices because of some issues with performance and overheating. So it is definitely worth a read if you're interested in knowing more about Samsung stuff. And one last article, Mario wrote a little bit about the limitations and issues he's seen with Android Wear and some potential alternatives to them moving forward, e-ink and things like that. And in a bit of XDA news, a new set of forums popped up this week just for Windows 10 development. Not sure how many of you guys are Windows app developers, but if you are, now you've got a place that you can go and talk about it for Windows 10. And there were 3 other videos posted to XDA TV this week. TK did an app review of AROMA File Manager, then he did a showdown between Amazon Echo and Google Now, and then he did another app review of Quality Time. But you know what? That's gonna be about all for me for today. You can find the links to all the stories I talked about down in the video description as usual, as well as the links to my YouTube channels. Remember, if you like this video, leave us a like down below the video, we appreciate it, and subscribe to our channel to receive all of our content as soon as it becomes available. Thank you for watching though, and I will see you next time.